And welcome back. So I've been homesick today. Haven't been feeling too good this week. And since I was home, I started playing around, setting up the channel a little bit more, and basically working on some of my scenes, some of my transitions, thumbnails, stuff like that for the channel. Haven't really been doing a lot of playing, and it started to get pretty late. So I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I'll jump on for a little bit, do some live streaming, play some No Man's Sky, work on some of my milestones, try to knock them out a little bit, and maybe do some chit chatting. There's been a lot of talk, people talking about portals, people talking about updates, general state of the game, how they feel about what they were told they were supposed to be getting when the game came out versus what they got. And pretty much everybody seems to be pretty peeved, but overall, I've been actually rather enjoying the game myself. Um, when I was talking to my good friend about the game, basically the way I explained it to him was I was like, pretty much a chill game. You come home, jump on, relax, float around, do some exploring, and I said it's pretty much like a never-ending game. I was like, there's a little bit of a story. Nobody really knows what's going on, how to play. They just hop on and go. And that was my take on No Man's Sky, and it hasn't really disappointed me. I basically, when I get the opportunity, I come home and I'll throw up the live stream and I'll hop on and basically work on some milestones, and I'll usually set a few goals for myself. And my goals have lately been mostly on upgrades, and I pretty much knocked that out. As you can see, I managed to acquire a 48 slot ship. She's not the coolest looking ship, but it reminds me of Serenity, Firefly, and so I kind of accept the fact that I got a hunk of junk. After all, the Millennium Falcon was just a hunk of junk. And besides that, I worked on my multi-tool, got 24 slots, and I put a fairly reasonably even disbursement of my tech, which I'm thinking about changing. A lot of people don't like the bolt caster, and I could probably get my mining beam up a lot better if I dump those attributes. But for now, I figure I'll leave it. And then I have my exosuit, which I also pretty much maxed out with 48 slots, and I pretty much have every tech in it that I can. That's probably overkill and not needed, but I figure instead of constantly worrying about, oh, do I need to have radiation protection? And oh, well, maybe I need to rebuild that for this planet or that planet. I just figured I'll leave them all on there. It kind of eats up my inventory space, but the ship does a lot for a higher count of inventory. And depending on what I'm doing, I don't think I really need to worry about carrying a lot of material. So, since I more or less have my utilities all pimped out, I'm pretty much left to working on my milestones. Ooh, I can claim some stuff. Cool. As you can see, I have a nice reserve of cash flow between all of the things that I've been discovering, all the materials I sell, especially because I can't carry a lot. I tend to dump a lot. Um, Leaves me with my milestones, and the majority of my milestones are complete. I'm down to my last three, and the one's almost done. So uh, I've been slowly working on scanning and trying to do the zoology, but that can be time consuming. Probably not as bad as the extreme survival, but sometimes it can be fun, sometimes it can be tedious. The one planet that I have completed, it took me almost all weekend for the one planet because I couldn't find one guy. And I still think I might have gotten lucky finding him. But then another planet that I did, it was fairly easy. I touched down and 80% of the animals were all sitting there uh, where I landed the ship. So um, I did take off my mod. I had the deep space mod, and excuse me, I had the deep space mod because I wanted to see how the black was for space, and I give the modders a lot of credit. They did a pretty good job with it, but I ended up pulling the file, and I'm pretty sure I uninstalled it properly. So I'm gonna have to double check my folders and make sure that I did do it. I'm pretty sure I did. I'll find out when I go in space. But let me see here. Yeah, this is a new planet. I did touch down, and we were looking for the animals, and I got 2 for 6 left. So I guess while we're here, we'll go ahead and see if we can find some kind of outpost or structure at the very least. And we'll touch down near the structure and we'll cruise over and do a loop around the structure walking, and we'll take a look for animals. So that's what we're going to do. In the meantime, while we're doing that, we can discuss some of the stuff that I mentioned earlier. Uh, the first thing's portals. Um, right now, portals is a hot topic with those who are still playing the game, and there was portals in the trailers, and some people still believe that the portals are in the game, even though a lot of other stuff is missing from the game that was also in the trailers. So um, they've found the portals, they've seen the portals. If the portals are functioning, nobody knows. Uh, Little by little, everybody has been discovering little things here and there. They have figured out ways to track portals on the planet, finding out what direction they are in, and how to locate them. Um, they've seemed to pretty much dial that in pretty good to the point where they can find it pretty relatively quickly now compared to before. Um, they've seen the structures. There's pictures of the structures everywhere. Um, People have been trying all sorts of various techniques to try to see if they can activate the portals, and so far as to my knowledge, I don't believe anybody has actually turned a portal on. Now, I did have a viewer who commented on my one portal video. Um, I actually thought I might have gotten lucky one night, and I was actually rather upset. Well, not upset, but surprised when I went to the location, which was clearly on the map, and you can see it in the stream. Um, when I got there, it disappeared. It really did. It literally disappeared, and I pretty much had my mind blown, and then was like, oh well, time to move on. So no luck there. But the gentleman who had watched my video actually had told me, I guess, a process that he may have read, or I don't know if he's actually done it himself, but basically it sounded like a very long, drawn out process. Um, Again, I don't know if it's just trolling, I don't know if it's hearsay, or if it's accurate. I'm not sure. I haven't really checked to see what everybody else is doing with portals at the moment, since I've been trying to set the account up and get the channel rolling. But yeah, it seemed like a lot. Rolling balls to the portal and going to multiple monoliths and activating monoliths and having an anomaly. I think you have to have an anomaly or something nearby, and then the monoliths send the beams to the anomaly, and then the anomaly sends the beams back to the portal, and it turns the portal on. But then I guess we're still not quite sure where the portal is supposed to send you. Some people have said that they think that the portals are actually just the ability to travel from one galaxy to the next without having to go to the center, which is quite possible. However, with the process that I had commented on, somebody had commented on my other video, um, it seems like a lot of work. Now, I've watched Bicycle Walrus on his channel when the game first came out, and he traveled to the center of the galaxy. Um, it was a lot of work. He had some very long streams, and he had to do a lot of mining and create a lot of warp cells to be able to get to the center. And oh, I'm tired of you guys. Um, yeah, so he put in a lot of work to get to the center, and I don't necessarily think it's a waste. Um, I think that it's something that for the storyline you're probably going to have to do eventually. But if somebody can roll a ball into the portal and run around a planet in their ship, activating monoliths, um, it sounds like that process is probably far less tedious compared to um, mining all the resources to be able to warp to the center. So I'm not sure. Uh, that's pretty much that on portals. As far as the update, um, I got the smaller patches, which were nice. The stability of the game is greatly improved. A lot of the bugs are gone. Um, my computer's a little bit older, but it's still a relatively nice tower. And I have my settings turned down low because I think my graphics card's a little bit dated. But ooh, giant slug looking dude. Yeah, my graphics card's a little bit dated, but it's still a gaming graphics card, so it's been holding up fairly reasonable. Um, but the newer updates, which everybody I think is waiting for, is these bases and cargo ships, the freighters and stuff. I'm getting beat up by this guy. See if I can cheat and land on top of a mushroom or something. There we go. Get safe for a minute. But yeah, so base building sounds fun. And if I can purchase a freighter or at least utilize a freighter, I think that would be neat. You know, if they kind of treated the freighters similar to a space station. Um, Ooh, crap. That was kind of messed up, dude. I was trying to scan your buddy over here, and you went and jacked me up. He's still jacking me up. He's gonna run away. I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna be pissed. You're toast, dude. Chances are he's probably already been scanned and he's just a variation, but just to be safe, I want to make sure I get him. I'm getting all jacked up by this freaking... I don't even know what the hell you would call it. His head kind of reminded me about the guy from Star Wars. Let's take a look. Yeah, he reminded me of the guy from Star Wars. All that scanning, and I still got 4 guys left. Yeah, 4 guys left. There must have been a lot of dupes. But anywho, yeah, so bases will be cool. The only thing that I'm worried about is that they're gonna need to have the ability for you to be able to get back to your base, or what's the point of spending the time, the money, and the resources on the base? So if I can't fast travel back to my base easily, then there's no point of making a base. And then not only that, but the base needs to be able to hold resources and stuff, because if chances are the bases, I can't see them being like free, so you're probably gonna have to build it. And if building a base is anything similar to the rest of the stuff in the game, it's probably gonna take like tons of resources and tons of money. And come on. I love these ragdoll animations when you blow them up. But yeah, so anyway, you know, if, and it's a big if the bases take a lot of resources, oh, excuse me. It's been a long day. If the bases take a lot of resources, then, you know, yeah, there you go. I just so happened to catch him. I hate scanning these birds. From what I heard, scanning the birds now is easier than before, but they're still pain in the butt, at least for me. I gotta shoot them down and scan them. Hope I can find the bodies. There he goes. Yeah, good luck finding that one, dude. Probably gonna get jacked up by this red paw. There he is. I guess he wants a grenade to the face. That never gets old. Never gets old. Oh, get out of my face, Sentinel. Dude, that bird's gone. That sucks. Probably too low to the ground, which means I gotta hop back up on top of something. Oh, yeah. Yeah, getting back on topic. Um, so yeah, I just think, you know, they need to make sure they do the bases right, and they do that update right. They have to do that justice to that update. If they botch this update, then the last handful of people they have, you know, it's gonna dwindle even more, because that's just gonna prove that Hello Games is just not capable of doing. They're not going to be capable of producing any more games. People aren't going to trust them. I certainly won't buy another one of their games if they can't get this game under control. Which then again brings up the whole lies factor. And I didn't get on the hype train for the game probably till about a week or two before the game came out. And it seemed very interesting. I haven't bought a game in a while. The last game I bought was Fallout 4 for my Xbox One, and I really like the Fallout games, but I just didn't really have a lot of time. So the game pretty much has just been sitting collecting dust. I mean, I did start it, but I just kind of got too bored too quickly with it, I guess you could say, which is bad. But yeah, the lies. So I wasn't really aware of a lot of the trailers and stuff that other people watched. I really didn't know how much content was supposed to be in the game that they took away. So I wasn't as disappointed, I guess, compared to some other people who've been following the game for a long time and seen a lot of footage and stuff. Ugh, excuse me. Trying not to yawn. But I got him already. However, I have watched other channels. I've watched other videos that basically showed me what I was supposed to get and showed me the different interviews that they've had with Sean Murray, I believe his name is, if I'm correct. And clearly, you know, he had high expectations for the game. And the way he talked about the game, I can honestly say that I think that, you know, he believed that what he was telling people was the truth. That's what he wanted to do for the game. But for whatever reason, whether it be time or money or just the ability to do it, you know, things didn't quite work out the way that, you know, he probably had hoped, and it was a huge letdown. And so he basically had to take a hit. And who knows, maybe, a lot of this content that's missing from the game uh, will be added into the game in some upcoming patches. Um, he still clearly, has misled people in some things. Like I've seen the whole comments about, oh, that guy looks mean. Um, he said like there was gonna be, no paid DLC. Granted, technically, if you analyze what he says, you can still say, oh, well, he never really said that. But I'm sorry, it's. Oh, you're done, dude. I ain't even gonna let you. But, yeah, so when somebody asks you, oh, well, are you gonna have paid DLC? And you're basically like, no, we don't, we're hoping to do this and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, now you're changing your story. Oh, well, we might have to have paid DLC. Well, dude, it's black and white. There's no middle ground. Now, if you want to call it an expansion pack and not a DLC, then fine. You're adding, you know, part two to the game. But don't charge me for a base and freighters combo pack and then charge me for, uh, you know, uh, the multiplayer pack. Because that kind of stuff just irks me. That's pretty much why I came back to PCs, because every single game that comes out on the PlayStation or that comes out on the Xbox is going to have a DLC pack. And then you go and you buy a brand new game, for $60, and then you're spending, depending on the company and the game, you're spending, another 20, 30, $40 for a download pack. So you're spending $100 or more for this game. And the bad thing is with the download packs is a lot of times you don't know what you're really getting until you get it. So if you go and you buy a season pass, day one, because it usually will give you a discount, um, you don't even know what's coming yet. You're just hoping that, you're going to play the game and like the game enough to the point where, 6, 9 months later, when you're getting DLC, that you're going to actually use it. Man, a lot of green dots. Lots of green dots. No red dots. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I came back to the PC. I came back to the PC because, granted there is some DLC on some PC games, but, you know, not all PC games have DLC. You buy the game, you buy the game, and that's it. Now, I think that's slowly changing too. I think eventually all PC games are going to end up being the same way with DLC. But some games are worth it. My best friend and I, we play Borderlands on PC and console. He prefers the PC, so I switched over and I play with him on the PC on all the Borderlands. I'm actually debating on doing some Borderlands streaming. Um, Take advantage of some of the other PC games I have. And we always buy all the content for Borderlands. And granted, some of the DLC isn't very large, but sometimes they are. You can buy one of the DLC packs and they're huge. I know Fallout's notorious for that. A lot of the Fallout content, when you get the DLC, it's like another game and then another game. It's a lot. So not all DLC is bad, but I think it breaks down to how much you like the game and how much you really are going to be able to play the game. So it can be worth the money. Now, I've kind of fallen out of grace with Call of Duty. I haven't really played the Call of Duty games that much. I really loved zombies in Call of Duty, a huge zombie fan. Um, uh, some of their stuff though just irks me. It's like, their DLC. It's like, oh, here's some multiplayer packs and here's a couple guns and um, thanks for the money. And it's like, man, you're telling me you couldn't gave me that stuff when you released the game? It's like it's not like you're well, zombies is an exception because zombies is a story in pieces, but it's not like they're increasing the story on the regular Call of Duty game. You're just getting maps. And lately they've been rehashing maps. It's like, oh, well, we redid this map from Call of Duty World at War, and now you can play it, now on the Xbox, all redone in high definition and blah blah. And it's like, dude, it's the same map. Uh-oh, I need to fix that. But yeah, so DLC, no DLC, we'll find out eventually. It all comes out in the end. So let's charge up our shields here before we start getting irradiated. Or actually, this is poison. Yeah. I think they need to change the graphics a little bit. It's sometimes when I look at the screen, it's kind of difficult to see the filled and empty bar on these icons. Now, I'm playing on a 32-inch TV, a high definition TV, and I have my game screen actually shrunk down into a window, so it doesn't take up the whole TV at the moment. But even still, it's still a rather large section of the monitor that's displaying the game, and I still seem to have a little bit of a hard time telling if these bars are filled or empty. It isn't until they actually start flashing that I can really tell what the hell's going on with them. But yeah, so we discussed a little bit about portals, and we discussed a little bit about the expectations of the game and the lies in the game. And we're still looking for animals, which at the moment it seems like somebody else wants a rocket. Oh, that's so funny. Mm, but yeah, so I think we pretty much covered the few points. But if you're watching the video, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. And I hope you hang around for a little while. Hey, how you doing, Brooklyn Gamer? You from New York, are you? I'm actually from Jersey. Joyzy. My gamer name's actually South Jersey guy on a lot of stuff. But I decided on YouTube I'd go ahead and go with Remington. But if I start twitching or streaming off of the Xbox, you'll probably see a lot. Or actually, I think my Twitch is actually might be under South Jersey guy too. At least on the Xbox. I know on my YouTube I didn't do Jersey guy, but Good to have you here. Thanks for coming around. Just kind of chilling tonight. Get a little bit of game time before I settle down for the evening. We have been just discussing general state of the game and what we're hoping is going to come in the future. Some fixes, updates, patches, and just kind of shooting some BS. And then during that, we just been searching for animals. We've been working on our milestones, and we're trying to go for the scanner zoology. And this particular planet has two more guys hiding, and I have tons of green dots of guys that we've scanned. I'm missing my red dots for those last two guys, and seems to be difficult sometimes finding them. I was talking earlier about the one planet I did. Jesus, it took me all weekend just for that one planet. I touched down, my ship touched down, and like 80% of the animals were all right around me. I literally hopped out of the ship and I hit my scanner, and I'm just like, boom. I did a big turnaround, didn't even move, and pretty much got all the animals. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome, man. That is so awesome. I'm like, I'm gonna be off this planet in a heartbeat, and on to the next. And that was like the hugest mistake. Oh my God. I literally was just walking and walking and walking, and then I got so far away from the ship. I got lucky and I found a place, and I called my ship to me, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to fly around. And I flew around for a while, but it's so hard. And I don't know if it's just because my graphics card or if it's the game, but you can't really see animals from the ship all that well. So after a while, like I even gave up on that and went back to walking. And yeah, see, there's one over there. Hopefully, it's a different guy, because sometimes it'll actually be an animal you already have, and it'll just be a different variation of it. Let me see. All right, so another one down. Sweet. Yep, one more left. Oh, I gotta name this guy. How about we name him after our viewer? Brooklyn Gamer. There you go, dude. One more left. But as I was saying, yeah, man, I spent like all day that I was playing on, I think it was like Friday evening, all day Saturday when I played, and most of Sunday when I played. And it wasn't until like late that Sunday. I'm like, I was actually talking to a buddy of mine, and I was explaining to how much of a pain in the butt it's been. And then I was just about ready to give up, and I was going to leave the planet. And I turned around, and there he was. And I was just like, oh my God. So I can't quite tell if that guy looks green or red. I'm not even sure that what that is. See, a lot of times you'll get white dots, but they'll be plants or something. So I don't know. We'll go check it out. I only got a little bit more time left before I get off the stream and call it a night. That's the building complex. That's what it was. Since I had the scanner up and it called it, it made it a waypoint, which is why the dot stayed, because it turned it into a waypoint. But it almost looked like an animal dot, but it wasn't green. It kind of looked like it could have been red, but far further in the distance. A lot of these buildings to me now are useless. Not all of them, but a reasonable amount of them, because what ends up happening is I don't need any more of the technical stuff, because I have probably 90% of these blueprints already. So, oh, there's the ship. Um, it's a waste for me to go there, touch down, and go check, investigate the buildings because I already have it. Um, there's a few things that I may have if they exist. We'll take a quick look. Okay, I have all four hyperdrives and all four pulse engines, all four shields. Um, I have a reasonable amount of the photon cannons and phase beams. Now, there might be a few of them I'm missing. I'm sure there's probably some plus fours that I don't have yet. So there is some I can get for the weapons on the ship, but I have no room unless I give up inventory slots. But the way I set it up was is I had my phase beams because I figured they were going to be the ones that I used the most. I ran them down and across so I could link them to get the extra bonus. And then I did the same thing with the photon cannons, and I put them on the next run. And then that way I could put the shields, the engines, and the warp drives, you know, vertically under each other for their bonuses. And then that would leave me basically this chunk up here for materials, which isn't a lot of room, but the ship holds more than the suit does. So, and then the suit kind of messed me up a little bit, and I think I could probably fix it now because I think I actually have the blueprints for the original jetpack and stuff like that, and life support. Whereas I didn't have it earlier when I did my setup. So I might be able to rearrange this a little bit to actually get some more stuff touching. But for the most part, it's not that bad, and I have like all the shields connecting, and then the stamina actually ties in with the health modules. You can see the purple actually runs around. So I got lucky with the layout on that too. If I had to change anything, I'd probably take the three jetpacks, throw them over here on these modules, and take the life support modules and put them where the packs are. But I'm not sure if there's a life support plus one. There might be a life support plus one, and if that's the case, then I'm going to be screwed because I can only fit three there, and I'd have to redo my whole entire thing. But I'm not so much worried about it. Some of the other guys I've seen online, seems like the bonus isn't that substantial, so I don't know if it's worth worrying about. And then my multi-tool's in reasonable shape too. Um, the visors, I don't even know if that's boost is worth it either. But the a lot of people don't like the bolt, and so I've heard some people discussing about, doing away with the bolt and just like fully pimping out their mining beam, because the mining beam seems to be better. I just kind of went half and half, and then gave myself a little bit of the grenades and a little bit of the scanning, and just kind of played it safe in the middle. So, but I'm not doing too bad. Got a little bit done tonight. Eventually, I'm gonna get the animals completed, and then after that, I think I'll worry about trying to do the extreme weather. I should have did the extreme weather when I had the chance. I started the extreme weather. I was on the perfect planet for it. Um, it was extreme weather all the time. I had there was it actually did two different versions. I think it flipped between it was cold and hot. When the daylight came, the planet basically started to burn. And then as the sun went down, it started to get cold, and once the sun was gone, it started to freeze. And it was like the perfect extreme planet because I had all of the shields for um, cold, and I had all the shields for hot, and I had the material to refill it was ample on the planet, and I should have just stayed there and grinded out the extreme condition. I only ended up making it to three. Um, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think a soul was supposed to be like 15 minutes. Um, so in the end, I think I've heard like in order to complete the extreme survival, it's supposed to be something like 9 hours in total. And some people have talked about, logging onto their game off stream and just, parking their dude on the extreme planet and going to bed. And I thought about doing that, but I was kind of wondering, if the shields would last long enough, and I highly doubted it. Hey man, what's going on? Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you stopped by. I'm about ready to get off myself. I was just basically doing cap, a recap of what was going on, and then I was gonna call it a night. I'm still sick, so uh, luckily my weekend's here, so I got a couple days to try to get myself straightened out, and then go back in Sunday night. But I'm glad you stopped by. But yeah, so I kind of screwed up, and I got off the extreme planet, and I haven't really found a good one since. But I figured I really didn't want to waste what time I was playing the game, let my dude chill on a planet, boring myself to death or boring viewers to death. So we just basically been working on finding animals. But that and knowledge stones and learning the languages is always nice. The one night I got lucky and I found a guy, and he's in one of the other videos, and basically I would pay him 20 carbon, and he'd either teach me a word or give me 66 carbon back. So I mean, either way, you couldn't go wrong. And then like it was like one out of every five um, times of talking to the dude, he wouldn't give me the option to get carbon back or give me a word, so I would lose. But I had continually gone up in carbon or learned a word, and he was hard to walk away from too. So you gotta try to take advantage of them when you get the chance, because you never know when you're gonna fall. Sorry, you're never gonna know when you're gonna get lucky and fall into that kind of situation again. So, but I think that's probably going to be it for the night. Um, we're hitting about just under an hour on the stream, and we were rather successful. We managed to find all but one animal, and hopefully the next time we hop on, which will probably be tomorrow, we'll probably get on tomorrow for a little while. Um, Hopefully tomorrow we'll find that last guy, and then we can get off this planet. And I think I'm in a fresh system, so I think there's still a handful of other planets available to go and check out. But if we get lucky, I'm hoping that the planets are small. That's my theory, or my game plan rather, is to, if the planet is small and has a sparse amount of animals, say there only has 6 animals, I'm hoping that it's going to be easy to find the 6 animals versus if I touch down on a planet that has like 12 animals. So I haven't found a planet that had a low quantity yet. I think the lowest might have been 7 animals. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping to find one that has maybe like 4, and then hopefully like I could just 20 minutes and I'm done. I'm out. But we'll find out. We'll see. I'm not quite sure what the minimum is yet, but uh, if not, then we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Keep on trucking. And on that note, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. So I will see you later.